the Rime of the Frostmaiden. It is the 11th of Ches. This is the middle of the strong winter. You're still approaching, um, what is it? It's the third month, so it's still like deep, like true winter here, and you're getting close to the end of the truest winters as you are heading off into Icewind Dale. This is the inhabited region of the far north. Many of you are coming here for particular quests and needs to help the people who are kind of lost and kind of losing a lot of will in this area. There's a lot of need up here. Some of you are headed here as isolation, like many of the other people you would know. Icewind Dale is the final stop when you no longer have a place within the true Sword Coast left to turn to, and do not choose to return to some of the more wild lands, both to the east and to other continents to the south. Among the places where we are going to have you, I think the Shrangren River is still kind of the best place for you all to have arrived by boat, unless anybody in particular had a reason that you would have come by wagon. And basically, um, I think it's best to have you bypass Bryn Shindar until you guys actually have a reason to have visited Bryn Shindar. That's part of why I say the caravan is the least likely of the places to have got you here. But does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Now,
Yeah, I'm good with a ship. I feel like Carvath would have essentially, after kind of the thing that forced him to flee, he would have essentially booked the first ship he could. And
Yeah, so considering, I think it's kind of about the same situation. Those of you who started the last part of this campaign out, you would have basically been delivered from Luskin along the Shenangarn River. As you were actually brought up the river itself, well before Icewind Dale, they would have actually dropped you off, and it would have been a very shocking experience as all of a sudden the captain of the boat basically just started unloading gear and just throwing it off on the banks of the actual river. And you can see this is before the actual ice flows. It wasn't for danger of losing the boat. It wasn't for danger of heading into colder weather. It was already frigid and freezing. In general, you can kind of gather that this person is relatively aware of how far they go before Oral's magic starts to take hold. And there is very particularly a point where they drop people off. The people who are local and kind of returning to 10 towns, it doesn't seem nearly as weird for them to understand that this is the end of the line and you were all thrown off. This time we will have you be thrown off on the east side of the Shingarn River, and basically know that Targos is the closest of the places for you all to go. I think for what it is worth, it's probably best if you all simply started to go towards Targos. You've gone through the single gate entrance along the south side of the actual town, and at this point kind of spoken to guards to know that Three Flags Sailing is the local tavern. They kind of pointed out on a, I think for what it's worth, we're going to have them have little maps, places of interest, because I don't want to actually write in all of the locations, and I want to just give away the DM maps. So I think we're going to have them kind of have a little map here where they kind of point out Three Flags Sailing is right across the way from this main pier, and then they point out when you're ready to get a night's sleep, the Luskin Arms is the place to go, and that's by this most southerly of the major piers. And they kind of link stuff like that. You get a little sense of there's Town Hall, and if you need to buy any goods, Triglio's is down here. So they, in general, point things off for you all and send you on your way. If you all would like to wander around the streets of Targos, that is perfectly fine. If you'd like to pick up inside of Three Flags Sailing, we can also do that. Where would you all like to start?
somewhere warm.
So it's a pretty typical way of how I've described these in the past. These homes are very much built for Arctic tundras. They have as many actual like outside layers as possible. Very few of these places have ever actually had a need for a window in particular, and in general, you guys are not going to see windows inside of the actual towns here. I don't think any of these locations you will ever see have windows built. They are all very solid outside structures. Many of them have very low hanging roofs that the roof almost comes to the actual ground itself. But if you were looking for a warm place to go, you would very quickly be pointed towards that three flag sailing. And basically walking up to that area, the actual bite of the wind coming from the lake and over the lake itself would be pretty horrendous until eventually you find the doors. You are able to see these double doors. You kind of knock momentarily and then just open the door, and within the doors you see a rather large pub. The initial level probably has about 16 or so tables, most of them prepared for anywhere between like 2 and 6 people, although there are two long tables that flank the north and the south side of a central open hearth. This open hearth has a clear ceiling above it where there is a second level, and on that level is kind of a balcony that goes around 360. And on that balcony are some smaller tables, most of which sit in a little bit deeper of a shadow. And then above that, there is a small chimney to actually release the smoke. But the top layer, if there's ever going to be a point where smoke collects a little bit more, it's going to be this balcony layer. But otherwise, you all can walk into. I didn't roll a time, I don't think. So let's see what time it is. Y'all are entering just about noontime. In general, again, you don't really have any sense of a sun here. There's the aurora and then the moon. You all woke up initially to the aurora, and you've made it here in good time after the boat actually dropped you all off. You feel like you've had a pretty solid day. You can judge in general that you're about halfway through your day, but you're walking into the pub. Doesn't seem to be a lot of people inside of here. In general, looking around, you can see a few people who seem to be eating on their own, and then one person who sits behind a larger bar, kind of leaned over on his shoulders, and he's just polishing a beer stein. Shut the door behind you. Welcome to Three Flags Sailing. Care for an ale?
You don't have any wine, perchance?
Got a bit of wine. It costs a premium.
And what sort of premium are we talking about?
Can't get shipments of wine these days. I could do 3 silver a glass.
But perhaps on second thought, ale will be fine. Thank you.
5 copper.
And then Carvath will, as he's getting out the money, he'll sort of turn and look towards the others, kind of waiting.
Byron smiles to the bartender. Thank you for the offer. I think I want the ales too. How about you, Luther? How about you, Skeeter?
Ales would be most welcome after our long journey.
Skeeter looks up and he's like, "Can I get some milk?"
Well, why not? Do we have milk here?
kind of looks
All
at you
right.
strangely. We've got a goat herd who might still have a bit of livestock. I could probably do a glass of milk for a silver.
Do you still
Deal.
Okay, so 2 whales and a glass of milk, my friend. And he gives the kind of smile that the teeth even glints a little.
And he looks over towards Relic. Ale for you.
Yeah, I'll take an ale.
3 silver. And he'll pour 4 ales. And then
Wait, 3
he's
silver?
Whoa.
Yeah,
What happened?
3 silver.
Wait. What happened to the
4
5 copper?
ales. 4
Oh.
ales. That's 2 silver. And a glass of milk is 3 silver.
It was not five copper.
5 copper
No.
an ale. 10 copper is 1 silver. He's asking you guys to pay for your drinks.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I was
Got the conversions.
Luther
Yeah.
counts out 5 coppers very carefully and hands them over to, or I suppose places them on the bar in front of the fellow.
Byron does the same here.
So while you guys are figuring out coins, he's going to kind of push towards the back, and he's going to kind of yell, and you all will overhear. Alaret, go find Rathine and see if he can do us a glass of milk. Be quick about it. And then he'll turn back to you. Have you all figured out how to pay what equivalent is 3 silver?
I'll give him 5 copper.
Yeah, Carvath pays for his own.
yeah. I'll pay for my own. Do I need to register that or?
Yep, just remove it from yourselves on D&D Beyond.
I'm having a little difficulty with the remove. I have my money as 10 gold pieces, but when I click 5 copper and remove, nothing happens. Do I have to essentially create change?
Yeah, basically just like create 5 copper and give yourself like create 5 copper and 9 silver, and then remove a gold.
So you're left with 9 gold, 9 silver, 5 copper.
Just to put it out to you guys, it probably behooves you not to carry gold until you actually are lacking in ability to carry the weight of all of the coins. It's probably a good idea to have spending money, not walking around like walking around with gold is like going into West Virginia with like $100 bills on you. You're gonna go to a lot of places that can't necessarily make change, and they are perfectly happy to take your 100. And if you get pickpocketed, picking up 10 coins is much easier than picking up about 100 to 150.
Can we make some adjustments to our currency, or is the game started and we have what we have?
In general, you are perfectly fine to make adjustments to your currency.
All right. So question. I'm at the screen now. How do I remove one? I had 1 silver for the milk. How do I remove that? I'm sorry. I think I missed that part.
Yep, it's the same thing. You just need to go under your inventory, and under currency, you're basically adding 9 silver and removing a gold. But on the same level that I was saying to them, carrying gold is like carrying the biggest bill or the biggest coin that you'll ever really use. In particular, there is no reason to have coin, especially not in a world with pickpockets, and a thief would definitely understand that, or rather a rogue.
Yeah.
So it's not long, probably about 15 minutes before you see a little girl run out from the back, and she reaches up with a glass and hands it to the barkeep who kind of like scans around the room and eventually walks over to the group, and he will take another moment to kind of spot who has the ale in front of him, and then he's going to set down a glass of goat milk.
I chugged the goat milk, getting it all over my lizard face. Just immediately chug it.
Carvath will look a bit askance at him, kind of just like raise one eyebrow a little.
Byron only laughs. Easy, my friend, easy. You know, you don't need to drink all at once. I'm sure they probably get another glass for you.
As you guys say this, I feel like I should, like my character would start choking, like choking on the milk.
Like,
Hey man, easy
easy,
I
easy.
start like patting
Come
his back.
on. Byron gives him a small slap in the back. Breathe.
Ah, thank you.
Moderation, my friend.
Yeah, I gotta learn to try that.
Okay, so let's find some place to sit. I think we all can agree we are tired too, and we cold.
Agreed. I'd like to get off my feet a bit. These recent peregrinations have been rather taxing.
Yes. So Byron looks for a table that can hold everyone.
Ellie goes over to a table that has about 4 people already there, and he says, "How if we wait? Actually, no. Actually, do I see a table with more 4 people there?"
Nope, when I describe the place, you see 3 people inside of this bar, and they are all sitting alone.
Oh yeah, Relic just pulls up a chair, like the booth to the side, like kind of furthest from the door, thinking it will get him warmest.
So Byron looks to the table that holds at least the other 4 people. Let's sit down here.
Pretty much any of the tables on the bottom level are going to seat the whole group, or you can sit at the ones that are actually next to the hearth, which is the fireplace, which would be the warmest ones, and they are not against the wall. It's a central fireplace.
I feel like as what Skeeter is, he gets uncomfortable sitting, so I just kind of go over and stand next to Relic and kind of lank, like with my legs bent a little bit, just kind of awkwardly.
Byron sit down near the near table and looks around.
I had a, do I have a dice set? Oh no, it only came with two.
I know it's rather a bit early, but it seems emptier than I would have thought.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, there's no way we can definitely get anything from out of here.
If I'm not surprised, I think people probably working. With the time and the weather doesn't help much, so they probably trying to find food or something like that.
In general, this is kind of a rough outline of the bar. Big tables, central hearth, a bunch of little tables around the outside, the door in the southeast, big bar in the northwest.
So Bruce going to sit here. Byron, sorry, Byron.
And Mara, you said the few other people in the bar are all sitting alone.
Yep. Anybody who cares to can make a either insight or an intelligence check to kind of foresee why, but I think somebody already hit it. That in general, daytime, when there's any source of light, people are out working.
Didn't mean to roll it twice.
If you will check under your D&D Beyond or the Beyond 20, just in that little red die in the bottom right-hand corner of Roll20, you can set it to always roll twice. That is a really good setting to have prepared. And then also, if you just preset it to automatically roll damage, that would be good as well. But roll twice covers when I ask for advantage or disadvantage. So, in general, you all can relax here. How long do you think you're sitting around in the pub, and what are you looking to accomplish while you all are warming up?
Probably discussing what our next step will be. So Byron looks at his companion. So we are here finally. We travel together, and I'm glad that we found you as companions. But me and Luther have our mission to try to find the evil, and in this place I have to ask you what are your goals, because I'm sure both me and I can tell, I don't know if Luther agrees with me or no, we probably gonna need help from so capable people like you.
Oh, certainly putting an end to this, and then he kind of like gestures just kind of wildly around. Whatever this is that's causing all this trouble up here would be wonderful. My own reasons for coming this way are on my own, but I am you see me a capable lot, so I'm if you'll willing to travel with me a bit further, I believe I can be of some use in your mission.
How about you, Helic?
Yeah. Is this the part where we start sharing all the little things that made us come out here? Well, let me tell you. My family kind of kicked me out after I had a disagreement with their policies, and let's just say now I'm looking to expand my wallet a little bit. Get my feet on the ground. Spread out a little bit.
I understand. I know you have your own objectives. I only saying that I don't know. Luther, what do you think? We will need help to fight the evil. What do you think?
Indeed, that's my concern. We have come here. We must ultimately, yes, our goal is to fight the evil, but I feel that it's as much our goal to spread some sense of hope and for to let the good people of this area know that the gods have not forsaken them. Um, Now, of course, having done that, we must equally live ourselves. So now I don't want to speak for you, but I have no wish to go back to farming. So perhaps perhaps we could be security consultants or some such. I'm not really sure what the polite word for well, the impolite word would be mercenaries, I suppose, but uh, we
No,
can lend our strength to the weak.
Of course, there is no way we can help people. If they want, if they pay us to help them, it's much better because we need to survive. It's nothing unfair. The only thing that we must not demand too much for them because it's a difficult time here.
What do you have in mind,
yeah.
Beaks?
Well, I was saying we don't necessarily have to be mercenaries. We could be aggressive peddlers, or if you will, businessmen of a aggressive stature, maybe.
Skeeter likes.
I don't think I understand your parlay, but sure.
let's just say that we make our money not by what we do with our hands, but what people believe we do with the words we say to them.
Okay, so Luther, you can translate this for me.
Luther stares at his hands. Uh, well, I have worked the soil with my hands. It's true, and I don't wish to go back to it. That's true. Uh, Aggressive. Yes, I agree. We must take steps to rid the world of evil. That is indeed why I am not in a monastery, but wear the chain. Um, I'm just wondering. I mean, this is a little out of character, but no, I'll stay in character. But what should we call ourselves? How do we describe ourselves to those who we would like to sell ourselves to?
Please
Um,
take inspiration.
well, in the aspects of business, a proper name, a title for said business is important. So I can't disagree with your stance on that. However, I have no idea. Also, oh, just want to add to also when Skeeter, it's Skeeter, right?
Yes.
So when Skeeter says like mentions a monastery, like you notice like in very like it's not like a twitch, but it's like he loses all eye contact with you. Like he's just like completely goes away from your like eyesight.
Oh no, I think that was Luther that said that. I'm
Oh, it
the.
was Luther. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's like when he mentioned the monastery, like he just completely looks away. Like, ooh, nice wall. Like I'm not being a part of that type of conversation about monasteries.
Inside check. No, sir, I'm joking. So, Byron thinks. So we think we should form a group that sells our words and our actions to help people. That's the idea.
How about the super pals?
I like Relic go like takes the last of his ale, goes over to whoever just said that, and sits the mug on their head. Don't you stay out of this conversation.
I feel like at this point, after what Luther had said to Relic, Skeeter looks at Luther with big eyes, and he's like, "What is good and what is evil, really?"
You need me to explain to you, Skitter? It's a long lesson. I'm really glad to teach you all if you want me to start.
As soon as he says this, like Relic takes the mug off his head and just wraps the arm around him. Well, you see, good and evil are just the, I guess you could say, perception of what is right and wrong from the aspect of whoever is viewing it. See, he just goes on like a 10-minute rant of of him, and he just starts
Byron starts to shake his head. I
basically
think
Skeeter listens to all of it, just loving it.
and so that's when you get to the point of chaotic. See, chaotic is a bit of a mess as far as what you want to do, but it's easy to manage if you just, do it. Like he makes no sense, but
The Skeeter's buying it all. Like he's thinking about how to change his life and everything.
uh, Byron shakes his head. I think, my friend, that you are lost.
instead of way,
And
you don't by chance have any coin for you. I don't really like to mention after the fact, but my consultation fee is 1 copper.
uh, don't give any money to him, Skitter. He's just talking, and talk doesn't mean people need to listen.
I'm confused. Wait, why do you want a copper?
Well, because I just gave you fine advice, my boy. Why would I? You think a tip for a tip, son? A tip for a tip.
Byron smiles. That depends if you call what you said a good advice, my friend.
And you, sir,
I
can be quiet.
Luther laughs uproariously because of course, he thinks that he's just absolutely joking about such things. So he just takes it. He's just totally oblivious to any kind of ill intent there. And he turns to the two couples across from the hearth, who've come in, and says, "Well, greetings to you, my friends. It's a cold day out there, isn't it?"
oh
they kind of like spin around for a moment, and you just lock eyes with one of them as you see like a dark-haired male still wearing like his full uh, his like hood well over his head, and you can make out just a little bit of his face as he says, "Piss the fuck off," and then he turns back around.
A valiant effort, I suppose.
Not the most
Welcome to
social
Icewind, I
right, are
think.
we?
Bro, Byron is. Don't be disheartened. They are hard people.
I imagine
Oh,
one
it's
one
very understandable.
Oh, also, y'all noticed that the entire time we've been in here, like Relic has been flipping this platinum coin in his hands. Like you know how like gamblers kind of flick do that little finger flick thing with the poker chip.
Rolling it between your knuckles.
Yes, that. Yes, he does that.
So, Byron starts again. So, like Luther and I said, we have a, a plan, idea how to proceed. We are going to start to help people, try to find the reason why the sun does come again. So, I'm thinking if you all are interested in coming with us, I'm sure some of you will find fulfilling. Other, I think even you, like maybe find that this kind of work has some money involved.
Skeeter, are you sitting inside of a fireplace right now? Because you look like you're sitting inside of a fireplace right now.
What's the smell? Skitter is burning.
ah, is my common clothes.
I'm sorry. It's the reaction. What's the smell? Uh, Relic.
So I'm gonna ask you. I know you have different objectives than us, like, but I'm sure you could find some money. Yeah, maybe even some purpose on our quest.
Is the barkeep still here?
Yeah, barkeep's top left corner.
Okay. Well, Relic would like to go over to the barkeep and is it top left corner?
Okay. He left me speaking alone. He's sometimes infuriating. Uh, yeah, how about you, Carvaf? You said you coming, yeah, and I'm glad. Be about you, Skitter.
What's the question?
You want to join us on our quest? Maybe join us to find, help people. Maybe there is money involved because we need to survive. But we are looking to end the night, the eternal night.
I would love
cold.
to join your adventure.
One, who said what?
I would love. Go
Sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
I would love to join the adventure. Uh, I have nowhere else to go, so I've been following you guys for like 2 months now.
I've no plans to return south anytime soon, and if I'm to be stuck up here, finding some way to get rid of this situation would be beneficial. I
That
suppose that's a long-winded yes.
I'm very glad. Luther seems to have a adventure party with us now. I don't know about your friend at the bar, but I think we have some companions too that will help us greatly.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm sure we'll be a strong party. Friends for life.
I
Relic,
never said we were friends.
Luther
uh,
laughs uproariously at your witticism.
Relic does a 1,000-yard stare.
Oh, Relic, you imp.
Oh gosh, that line from the last one just oh gosh. I'm sorry. Anyway, he went over to the bar to get a either a dice set or playing cards. Well, dice set and playing cards from the barkeep.
He's going to look at you a little strangely. Sure. Give me a while.
Take your time,
And
take your time. And if
he's
you
going to.
could possibly get an ale on your way back too, that would be great.
A nail is actually what my business sells, so yes, most certainly. 5 copper, and I'll pour you an ale.
And he puts 5 copper and then puts 1 silver on the thing. And about those playing cards, sir.
Yes, things that I don't sell at my business, I will take time to search for. So, do you intend to buy playing cards with a silver, or is that a tip? And he's going to take the silver.
You know, you could have asked that before you took the silver. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll pay with the silver, sure. You could find
He's
if
going to
you.
return it to you. He's like, it's probably going to cost you more than that.
Where can I find playing cards?
Triglios may have something along those lines. You'll have to check with him. I'm not sure if he deals in such things.
I give him a blank stare, take the ale, give like one serious chug with a like that deep gullet kind of gulp, and then walk off back towards the group.
Did you just say you're trying to chug in his face?
No. Like I just like one gulp, like just that. Okay, thank you, like a silent thank you, but yeah, it just walks off.
Like I'm here. I heard that you're looking for a game. I carry with me Dragon Chess. Do you want to play Dragon Chess with me?
Sure, if you mind,
No,
offering the answer.
I don't play with money.
We can play later.
Okay. I see you afraid of losing.
Whether
I will let you know I have never lost a game of Dragon Chess that I've played recently.
You seem like you never played Dragon Chess.
whether cards or other goods, this may be a good opportunity for us to visit Triglio's and buy whatever tools and weapons we may be lacking. Does everyone feel good about their starting equipment? Does everyone else feel good, or has everyone else been waiting for something to get?
Yes, my starting equipment
Everyone
is
wants
fine.
to pass by the shop to buy something. We can do that and find a inn to stay.
Can I ask this NPC to dance?
He turns around to you. And
Wait, this is a male?
It is indeed. He turns
Oh, okay.
around to you, and with a snarl on his face, he pulls out a blade and lifts up your chin with it. And he kind of looks at you. He's like, "You may want to keep your hands to yourself while you're in my town." And then he's gonna
I
kind of like
skitter
point
and
you
run away. Like I just crawl away, like freaking out to Byron.
Byron puts a hand on his Kitter's shoulder. Easy. Let
It was
me.
the prettiest dude I ever seen.
He's cute. You like it?
Is
Everything is okay. It's okay to be confused sometimes. Come on. Let's get back.
I once heard a song in my travels was before I made it here a song about a dude looks like a lady. I
Oh,
don't necessarily know if it applies here, but I'm pretty sure it's close reference.
Never heard
I,
it.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm
That's
just
one
my
of the
character is
wisest.
so embarrassed.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens to all of us. I can tell you the time I thought I was talking to a woman, but it was a female work. It was very difficult for me to explain why I get so confused.
I think it's
It does
because
still.
y'all look at the head and not.
Yeah, it was my point. I didn't look in the face.
Yeah, I didn't say the face, but she had a pretty nice smile, if you ask me.
Okay, this is getting out of hand.
So
None
as
of
all
the
this is
stories. Go
this is going on, Carveth's kind of just like he's sitting quietly, kind of nursing his drink, and after the two people who came in and tried to open up conversation after they kind of like snarled and went back to themselves, uh, Carveth would kind of just be like as he's sitting at his own table, just trying to, if they start conversing or anything, trying to like kind of like subtly kind of just watch them, more curious than like anything, just kind of idly curious almost.
What are you watching for?
Like just like if they start like having a conversation, if he can like overhear anything, or just kind of like he's not really looking for anything specific. He's kind of just like as kind of as the other members are kind of like moving off and doing their own thing, he's just trying to kind of like
Do you have proficiency in either insight or perception?
I do have it in insight.
Roll a charisma, and you can add your insight proficiency. So charisma +2.
Nope.
From what you can tell, it's just a couple who wanted privacy, and at first they were thinking about warmth, and they realized very quickly that they didn't want to sit next to your table because you guys seem to be a raucous bunch.
That reminds me. What are we supposed to be looking for? A name to call ourselves?
I thought a good name, but let's just get back to our table.
So Luther's sort of undone the outer layer of his cold gear so that the fact that he's wearing chainmail is evident, and he walks towards the bar, and as he's passing this fellow here, he tries to catch, he looks the fellow straight in the eye if he can and says, "Hello, good sir, how are you this fine day?"
Never been rightly accused of being good. What can I do for you?
"Oh, well, me and my friends are a group of hardworking, well, my friend calls us martial professionals, and we seek work."
Not from these parts. You're just wandering around, looking
We
for good deeds to do.
Yes, exactly so. Good deeds that pay well, of course, but mostly good deeds.
Well,
You hear from across the bar, and he just said, "That pay well."
if you're looking to be paid well, you might find your way to see Nerth over at the Luskan Arms and see what he might pay you to do. But otherwise, you may also find this town doesn't have paying jobs for people of your kind.
Yes, I understand. Well, thank you so much for the name. May I buy
Skeeter,
you an ale and
Skeeter, can I assume you are moving around
payment?
close to this person here?
Yeah, I'm running around
Once again,
erratically.
this guy's putting a knife up to your throat, and he's telling you to back off.
Okay.
You guys are going to very quickly find that these are not kind people here, and they are very quick to anybody who gets too close is getting a knife.
Relic comes over and he takes like the tip of like the coin he holds in his hand. He just puts it right there on the tip of the guy's sword and eases it down. Now, we don't have to resort to violence. My friend is just a little excitable.
Keep your
Now,
distance, and there will be no violence. But you don't belong here, and you don't know where you are. I'm just going to throw it out there very quickly here. If these people are sitting alone in this bar and they're pulling knives on you guys, who very clearly are adventurers, these are extremely high-level characters, and you guys do not want to fight with these characters. It will be a TPK, and we will roll characters real quick. These are CR 8 level characters.
and I will pull Skeeter away.
You guys
Right.
know that this place is controlled by an evil character. You've played this part of the adventure before. These are high-level motherfuckers who are in this bar right now.
My friends, let's return to the table. This kind gentleman has given a suggestion I'd like to discuss with you.
And I also believe I've discovered our name.
So once we're back together, I kind of huddle up a bit with the others and say, apparently we're to look for a man named Narth at the Luskin Arms. Why don't we finish our ales and head out?
Yeah, you all would have already seen that the Luskin Arms is the inn in this location, so from what you can gather here, Nerth is simply at the inn.
Oh, before we leave, my good friends, or fellows, however you wish to acknowledge us, what do you think of the name the Platinum Marshals?
How about the Platinum Braves?
Debatable.
What was the first suggestion? Platinum what?
Platinum Marshals? Or simply the Marshals, if you will.
Oh, I was thinking marshals.
Marshals.
Yep.
Yes.
Based on our reception so far, we might as well call ourselves simply the Unwelcome.
Oh man. You
I
know,
like
that's-
it.
I like the
I-
unwelcome.
I like it. They're
Actually.
welcome. I
Yeah.
like it.
You're welcome.
Why not?
You're unwelcome.
We are the welcomed.
No, I think he said unwelcome, but
I thought that it was welcomed. Okay, welcome then.
could call ourselves the rejects, but I think that only applies to y'all, technically.
A more
I think
out of
that
character meta name might be
Marshals is
the replacements, given
I
our
think that
previous characters.
that is perfect.
Or perhaps a better name will come to us on our ways. But for now, perhaps it sounds like this Narth fellow might be worth talking to. And with that, Carbath will kind of finish the last dregs of his ale.
Luther puts down his mug and says, "Come, Platinum Marshals."
You know, actually, I
No,
don't like it
Platinum
when you
Braves.
say it. I don't really like it out loud now. No.
Okay, I think we should go with the Helic names gave. Platinum Marshals. Let's go.
So y'all are going to head out and move towards the Luskin Arms?
Yes.
The platinum, like as they're walking, like Relic is still kind of mumbling to himself, and he's like, "The platinum sabers? No. Platinum blades? No."
Skeeter's mumbling to himself. He's like, I swear I'm not gay.
We know. You are just confused.
Live your best life, Skeeter.
Skeeter, where I come from, there are many walks of life. You don't have to be embarrassed about the things that you like, sir.
Yeah, make a choice when you can. If you don't
Dude,
want to make a choice, do whatever you want. It's a free film.
I swear that was a woman when I looked at it.
Well, you did have a pint.
You didn't see the beard? It was
Uh,
quite evident.
You know, you will be very amused in the dwarven kingdoms, I hear.
Yeah, the ladies have all beards. This.
I'll have to check that out later.
It's rather entertaining, if I must say myself. I haven't necessarily been there, but I've heard stories.
I have been, because I heard about it.
So when you guys arrive at the Luskin Arms, you walk up to a building that looks on the outside. The front half of it has the facade of a sailing ship. It has the actual symbol of Targos, the heraldry, kind of hanging from what is very clearly like an actual wooden sail. That's kind of like the front facing of the building, almost like it has its sails kind of turned like perpendicular to the way the ship is running. As you open the double doors into the inn itself, it is filled like floor to ceiling with memorabilia. A lot of it is shipping related. A lot of it has the symbol of Targos on it. A lot of it actually has Luskin symbology going on as well. Very much this whole place is sailing related stuff, just kind of like nailed to the wall everywhere with it that you look inside of.
Sensing a bit of a theme.
When you walk into the main doors, you see a old gentleman who's sitting behind a desk, just kind of straight ahead after like about a 20-foot walkway. His desk is basically backed up against the wall, where the building extends off to the southwest, like to his right, to your left. And then there is a stair to his left, your right, and the stairway leads to a upper level. As you approach inside, you do hear some voices coming from that left-hand side. As you actually approach the gentleman at the desk, you will see that there are a few small tables in this place. Most of them are like single or double seats, though there is a single larger table that kind of extends across most of the floor area, and that one kind of sits right in front of the hearth that is along that southwestern um, side of the room, effectively to the right of this old man. But other than those like quick things, you will smell like a little bit of food seems to kind of be permanently in this area. But otherwise, the old man will look up and he'll just kind of nod to you all. Welcome, welcome to the Luskan Arms. How is everyone today?
I'm doing fine, sir. Do you by chance have playing cards? And he
No,
just moves his
I
on
do
up toward
not.
me.
You still can play Dragon Chess with me.
You We'll play later.
Okay.
We are newcomers to town and we seek lodging and work. We've been told that this might be a place we could find both.
Lodging, most certainly you can find here, yes.
And what would lodging set poor pilgrims such as ourselves back?
So we could put you up in the barracks for 5 copper apiece.
Uh, Luther nods like that's a perfectly reasonable thing.
Yeah, it works. We all are in agreement that we are going to stay a night to here today, right?
Oh,
Well,
I'm
sure.
for it.
sorry.
Sure. That would be what, about three silver plus.
He kind of looks over you all, and then he'll look to Relic. 3 silver sounds good.
Luther looks askance at Relic. My friend, I think your math skills may be a little lacking. I believe that 5 coppers and I mean, honestly, I don't know. There's
It's
5 of
definitely
us.
2.5 silver.
It to be
Yeah, 3 copper. I mean, 3
two silver and five copper, my friend. I think you mistake the your math is lacking. That's a reason why you're gonna lose in Dragon Chess. You don't know how to make math.
While they're bickering it, Luther reaches for his coin purse, and as he's and counts out 2 silver and 5 copper to hand over, and leaning a little closer to the man, he says, "Oh, we were told that there might be a man named Narth who might be interested in the types of services we provide."
He looks at you, kind of looks at you up and down, and just like very slowly looks at everybody. And he kind of chuckles, and you see as he kind of like looks to the right, and everybody who's sitting inside of this little dining area is staring at you all. There's like 5 people inside of here right now, and you can see everybody's got a little bit of a smirk on their face. Yeah, I'm sure Neth would like to see you. Master Suite, 3rd floor. When you're ready to go to the barracks, 2nd floor, all the way to the end of the hall.
Luther smiles at everyone who he takes their smirks to be welcoming.
Byron doesn't. He tries to find out if the smiles are genuine.
Relic is actively making a disgusted face back, like he's so uncomfortable with their smiles.
Relic, you know that you can actually buy stuff, like when you were starting your character, right? If you had gold, you can buy cards in the dice set. You don't have to like actively search for them, right?
Oh, I know that. It's just more fun to ask.
Alright, I got you. So yeah, if you want to insight check everybody who is staring you down, Byron, you are more than welcome to roll an insight.
I actually was supposed to have a dice set, but it's not on in my equipment. But I wanted playing cards too, so I was like, since I already had the dice set, I was just going to get the playing cards along with it.
Yeah, if you didn't set up your equipment right, that is one thing where once you click that equipment thing, if you don't do it right the first time, D&D Beyond fails miserably, and you have to basically run it with like your player's handbook open. D&D Beyond doesn't have second chances on starting equipment. You click it, and you've got to do it right. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much gone on a regular basis. Byron, you look over. These are really pleasant people. They're probably big fans of Torm.
Great! I knew you're gonna find a good place to stay.
Can I
Let's
roll a plus? Oh.
What were you thinking?
No, I was asking to roll an insight, but he had already did it.
So y'all heading up to the barracks? Are you like tired at this point, or are you all looking to go straight to Nairth?
It's still early afternoon, right?
Yep.
let's go to the find this person Neff.
So can I use this doppelganger trait to like transform into looking like I'm like I guess another Karvoth? Since they're racist to anybody that's not human, I mean, could I not take the form of a human with the doppelganger trait for now? Like, and switch out of it later, or
You most certainly can.
okay,
I
I
mean,
will
you are
take the
only
form of
limited by your
Karvoth.
size.
Are you gonna do it in front of everybody?
That's
I'm gonna just do it before we go in, and just like a cloud of smoke happens as it finishes, and I'm just kind of like brushing myself off, like totally Karvoth. No, like nothing like about it.
What are you saying
Byron.
here, Karboth?
How do you say it?
Like, are you
yeah,
turning
like,
into a human?
Yes.
Oh, you're looking like Carvath.
Carvath, yes.
Okay.
You know that Byron, out of her character, Byron and I believe Byron and Luther doesn't know that you are a doppelganger, so that will cause a bit of a shock to them.
I mean, if he wants to make it clear right away, there's no reason he couldn't have made it clear to you guys beforehand as well.
Okay, you do
I
want
have
to
no
make
reason to hide.
Okay, so fine. Okay, so to make sure, because it was called a secret. If you want to tell your secret, so I have no problem with that.
I don't
So
mind.
does he just physically look like Carvoth, like they're identical twins, or is his outfit and everything? I mean, is it a weird?
From what I got from it was that you wear the clothes you have on, but you take the form of the humanoid.
Yeah, the cold weather gear that you all have, you look pretty similar regardless. So yeah, at this point, as far as like what you would see underneath his hood, you guys would look exactly the same. He'd look like twins.
Yeah, and okay, so what shall we call you, Carvoth twin? Skeeter still?
Yeah, call me Skeeter.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Skater, I think you made a good choice for now, but you should stick with your original form.
Um. Okay, so Skeeter just turned into Carva.
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay. Making sure I follow correctly. I'm sorry, I kind of missed that part until you said Carva twin, and yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the third floor. You guys want to go to with us?
Yeah, let's all go.
Let's go
I'll
then.
go.
perhaps we might want to be a
As
bit
I go with you.
circumspect in
Go.
our questions.
When I ask,
Know
I-
too much about this fellow, after all.
you want to, I think we should just go up, see if he has a job or knows something about the Dark Knight, and see if I know more. If you think that we should know more about him, maybe later. I don't know.
Well, I've from our short time in this fair town, it doesn't appear they much like interlopers. Certain questions might be taken the wrong way.
Carvath, you would have also seen the person who sent you here also put a knife to Skeeter's throat, so...
Yeah, he's deliberately kind of underplaying it, but that's kind of what
They're
he's
not
referring
selling
to.
themselves as good people.
We are trying to find out information. This person seems to be the boss. We are not getting in any trouble, right? So we're gonna ask if they have any jobs that you can make. If you think it is too dangerous, we can leave. But I don't see whatever we can do right now.
We've been
I'm
invited to
merely
speak to him. This is a hard town in hard times and hard people. Let us just bear that in mind, and indeed listen more than we speak.
I'm merely suggesting we speak carefully. We choose our words with care.
Of course, we're going to speak only what we need, not more nor less. Let's
As
go.
you guys are saying this, I'm just laid up on a pole, like in Carvath's form, just looking around for women and trying to like just like showing off, like I don't know.
There are indeed no women in view.
Well, I'm just looking
Comes through the
around, just
stairs.
admiring myself.
Uh, Byron looks at Skitter. You're going to flirt? There is a man with a beard over there.
So if you all
Just-
are all set and ready to head up and enter the office of Nerth, you are more than welcome to walk up to the 3rd floor, go to the master suite. It is simply the entire top floor of this place. And once you get to the top flight of the stairs, you see there are 2 guards wearing the Targos regalia, and they look to you, kind of put their pole arms across to like X across the top of the stairs, and they just look to you. Do you have business?
We believe we do. We've been given the name Nerth to speak to.
We are workers, martial workers. We are soldiers, and I am a paladin of Storm. This my friend is a cleric from La Thunder. So we are looking for a work that will help people. Maybe you
And
can.
you were told that Nerth would have this work for you.
Yes. If he is busy, we can come back later. We don't want to intrude.
We were told work.
Yes. You see, basically, in that conversation, as the moment you say the name Nerth, they start to open their weapons, and the moment he says Torm, they close their weapons back across the table, back across the flight of the stairs, and they just kind of smirk to each other as they open them and allow you guys in. But they'll walk up to the door, and you just hear as they knock, Scath, we've got some folk interested in meeting Nerth. And you just hear like a little bit of utterance from within, and one of them will open the door, and they kind of smirk to you. Come on in. Enter.
Luther
So
walks
as
in, smiling at them happily.
As you all enter
Relic
through
walks
this
in
door,
and-
Can
Well,
I use?
okay, Relic walks in and he
Can
do detect thoughts.
Can I use divine sense?
Divine Sense, you very quickly feel that there is... does it give you tieflings?
No, celestial fiend or
Nope.
that.
Yeah, you don't really get anything. You don't pick anything up from the room. Whose thoughts are you trying to glean?
The one that answered the door.
The one that the guards mentioned.
You're not casting it, Byron, so just...
Oh,
Like the one that answered the door originally. Like
yes, this one. Exactly.
Stop telling him how to play his character. He's the one casting it.
I'm saying that the one that the guard told that we want to speak to Neff.
yeah, so I was the guy that basically that opened the door.
That's the one I want. I want the guard to open the door.
Stop talking for a second. Byron, all I am trying to say to you is that you are not the one casting the spell. Allow Beaks to actually tell me what he wants to do. You don't have to participate in that at all. If he wants to cast it on the person that you hope that he does, awesome. But in the long run, it is his choice regardless. I rolled a 20, so the guy is going to immediately put his weapon to your back, and he's just going to kind of look at you. Be weary with the choices you make within these halls.
Oh, I was just simply trying to get a feel for the room.
The feel for the room is a paladin of Torm and a cleric of Lathander don't fit here. There's your feel.
Well, I have no associations with neither, so
You're walking into the room with them. You may think twice for the choices that you make here.
understood. You can remove your sword from my, back region.
So,
Perhaps we
as
might
you
all
all
just. Sorry, go ahead.
As you all walk into this room, as they open the door, you see a large room. It's probably about 3/4 of the space that you would have seen on the lowest floor. This is very much set up like the inside of the, I don't know ship words, the back of the ship, where a captain would kind of live inside of like a large sailing vessel. It's very much set up in that same way. And you can see that there's actually a painted mural of like a beautiful, like sunny, clear blue kind of Caribbean ocean on that back wall, of which that there is a fireplace in the center of, and you can see signs that the smoke has like come out of the fireplace and not through the flue, and actually blackened kind of the central portion of that mural. There is a person who is kind of standing up looking at you all. He is a dark-haired man, and he's got a smirk to his face. And he seems to be feeding some lizard creatures inside of cages, as well as a gentleman who is sitting next to the hearth in a plush chair, and you can't really see any of him. He is hooded, but he very clearly is wearing plate mail, and you can see the actual emblem of Targos on this person as well. And then the person who's standing kind of looks to you all. What were you thinking there, Carveth?
Oh, he was just going to try and back before they were allowed in. He was essentially going to try to suggest everyone just calm down. But once we entered, it's kind of a moot point. So go on.
Gotcha. So you can walk in. Narth will welcome you. Standing at the lizards, he'll look to you all. Welcome to the Luskan Arms and to Targos. Pray, what can I do for you?
I am Luther, and we are the Platinum Braves. We seek work, and we're told that you may be a man who could provide it.
And what sort of skills do you possess that has led somebody to tell you that I can provide work for you?
Luther opens up his cold weather gear, reveals the chainmail and his chainmail and mace. He's strength 15, constitution 16, so I assume he's a pretty buff farm boy.
Kind of looks back to the sitting gentleman, and then he kind of nods towards you with his eyes. So we have brute strength, and what other skills?
We have Torm at our side. My name is Byron. I'm a paladin of the Order of Golden Lion.
Most unfortunate for you.
Why?
Oh, to have to serve such a bore.
I understand that people don't understand the call to serve Torm, but I understand.
Does anybody in your little group of braves actually have any interesting skills, things that are intriguing, useful?
Relic will come up and say, well, originally we agreed on the marshals, looks like we, but I've been able to secure a certain amount of assets through a lot of management and of contracts. And of course, I was looking to make a business proposition with you. If, of course, this comes with a test of, of our skills to show you that we're worth going into business with.
Make a persuasion.
Okay, persuasion. Can I make a deception?
If you're trying to lie to him, yeah.
I mean, technically, he did lie about making contracts and stuff, so it wasn't, And I have more in deception, so I have proficiency in deception, so I'm trying to get a better score here.
Yeah, the difference is if you're trying to be persuasive and you fail, you just look like an idiot. If you're trying to lie and you fail, you look like somebody who lied.
I'll go for the.
Make the deception. If you think you were lying, make the deception.
All right, you know what? We're going it. We're going for
Deception. It's too late. Deception.
what you.
He looks at you, puts a hand on your shoulder. Child, when you get a little bit better at what you hope to do, perhaps you can find yourself in a position where you might mentor beneath my skill. But for now, I believe you and your party of marshaling braves don't belong in this land. I don't see skills, assets, or really anything about your group that tells me that you have anything to do with Targos and what it is that we have to offer. We are far more skilled at what you only dream of.
What
We are
you
willing
dream
to
of is
die.
sunlight, and obviously you haven't figured that out.
I fear for your city then.
If you think you can kill a god, by all means, end Oral's life. But for now, you look like a child pleading with their parent for some sort of scritch from my table.
All right. And
We're
Let-
fully
Artigas
grown men,
and
and we seek work. So Luther is going to, well, he's going to try to persuade him, of course, but yeah, we're grown men. We seek work. We're willing to die in the pursuit of that work.
Roll a persuasion.
Can I take
If
my
you-
inspiration in retrospect?
You can use your inspiration and roll a d20, but it is a fresh roll. You do not get to take your inspiration when you see what the roll is.
Try again.
All right. No, I'm going to leave it be.
Yeah, in general, inspiration is for when you know it's an important role and you want to give yourself advantage in all things but name. So
Yeah,
he's just going to look at you. If you are so willing to die to prove your worth, you are more than welcome to prove your worth. If you would be so kind as to travel to East Haven. Do me the favor of getting close to their town speaker and put a dagger in the back of his neck, right through the spine, and end his existence. And after that is done, you can return.
And what
Why
is the
don't
name of the
Byron look?
speaker? Luther keeps a poker face. And what is the name of the speaker?
Byron crosses his arms. He looks very, very annoyed at the situation.
Skeeter looks at Narth and he says, "And I'm a human."
Roll a deception. You'll be looking for Danath Wayland.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Nice roll.
His eye rests on Skeeter for a few moments after he says, I'm a human. Let me get a perception check from everybody. I'm going to assume nobody took anything else that gave them proficiency in Thieves' Cant.
No, I would
Skeeter
have
is a
gone.
rogue, right?
I said nobody took anything else because, yes, Skeeter is about to get a message.
Okay, no.
No, for me.
No.
So,
Nope.
Byron, Carvath, and Relic all pick up as Nerth just kind of like fingers a little symbol onto the side of the cage, and he basically just like outlines a little symbol, which Skeeter, you will pick up as him basically drawing the symbols for skilled and here. But he very quickly recognizes that you are finally somebody in this group who actually has skills that he can use, and that's what you would pick up. Just so you know, I think of Thieves' Cant very much like the old way that hobos used to write symbols, just kind of like onto the sides of buildings.
Oh, to
When
show
they would
like
like,
something was safe. I'm sorry.
yeah, exactly. You would have like little symbols for like this is safe. This person gives away food if you're in need, things like that. But it's very much like it's essentially like a hieroglyph. So he basically just draws these two symbols that say skills here when he hears you say that. But essentially, what you pick up from him is he very quickly picks up that you are the person in this group who has skills that his group can use. Everybody else sees his fingers draw whatever symbol, but nothing about it makes sense, and it's simple, just like a weird little twitch almost in his actual fingers while he's like at this cage.
I can't believe I'm about to do this. Okay, so when he after he draws the symbol, Relic just sighs and put his head down, and he casts levitate on himself, and he just kind of floats up a bit and just leaves the room. But like goes over towards Skeeter, gives him a wink, and just leaves the room.
Byron looks at
He stays near the door so he can hear, but he's like, fuck it. And he's just like, fuck it. You want skill? Fine, here. And he just does it.
Relic leaving and looks at Luther and give him a move to with the head, a nod.
Would we actually notice that Skeeter recognized the symbol? Like, I know we can't recognize the symbol, or do we recognize that Skeeter recognizes whatever Nerth did?
On some level, one I was about to call for a performance from Luther, but let me get a performance from Luther to fake that he's actually like properly responsive to assassinating, as well as we can do a performance from Skeeter. But Skeeter, you can have advantage. Yeah, so I think it would be pretty clear that Luther shows signs of being disgusted at being asked to kill Daneth.
What am I rolling?
Performance at advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that everybody's passive. Without having your stats already pre-set up in my little spreadsheet for today, I have a feeling that most of you passively will pick up that Skeeter understands what's going on here. But in the long run, I don't know if that actually means that you guys even understand that he made symbols and actually said something to Skeeter, so much as Skeeter just seems to have a deeper understanding of what Nerth is. You know, honestly, I almost feel like your passives would kind of be at like at disadvantage as well. I really don't think it's all that likely that you guys are going to both notice that he picks it up as well as understand what it means that he picked it up.
Okay, so since I originally, I'm sorry, I got confused. Then I thought you said we did pick it up, but okay, so
No, you saw Nerth do something with his fingers, but
oh, we just
Carvath
don't know
was
what it
asking.
means.
Carvath was asking if he would actually understand that Skeeter knew what it means.
Oh, okay.
And in general, I don't think there's a solid reason to see that. Even with a poor performance, like with rolling a 10 on that, I just don't think it's the type of thing. I feel like calling for a roll was a mistake because I don't think there is a reason for you to pick it up. It's almost like Skeeter would have had to roll kind of like double nat ones to like actually like choke, like he's drooling, thinking about feeding the lizards, and he like chokes on his spittle as he sees, oh shit, this guy speaks thieves' cant.
And I'm
Yeah,
in
makes-
Carvath's form.
So in that case, then Raleigh would like to re-enter the room, still floating, and so it looks at him and just says, "So, you want us to handle your business in New Haven, correct?"
Byron crosses his arms and fala, we are not doing this. If you want someone to do your work, find someone that has your work ethics.
No. Wait. You want us to handle your business in New Haven, right?
We are
Well,
not doing that, Halleck.
wait. How much are you willing to offer for this? Surely this isn't just some show. Obviously, you want him to go on for a reason. And if you're willing to have that reason be very capable adventurers such as ourselves, there has to be some merit and price for this task.
Your lives.
Might we take your offer under advisement, discuss amongst ourselves a bit?
You are more than welcome to.
Let's go. Byron uh, pick up Halleck by the shoulder. He whispers to him, let's go. He's lying to us. He's going to get us killed. He's never going to pay us.
So he is going to walk forward and start to usher you all through the door. He's going to put his hand on Skeeter's back. And Skeeter, you are going to notice that he kind of slips into one of your pockets.
Can I? Probably shouldn't, but can I roll perception to just see if I can like turn around and backhand him?
If you're gonna backhand him, go for it.
Oh, don't wait.
Oh no.
Wait.
Oh no.
Uh,
I mean, you could have been
well, do I,
leaving
need to,
something there
do
for
I at
all
least
we
need
know.
him to roll the perception to see if he's even doing it, right?
Can
I
roll
told you
perception?
you notice. I
Well,
told
I
you
noticed.
you notice.
Oh, sorry, I already
He
noticed.
goes into your pocket.
Okay,
Can I-
so
You
I
are
Gonna-
backhanding him. You are throwing a backhand at Nerth right now.
Can
what
I
I roll
raise
for
to
this?
attempt to stop him?
Can I have a reaction to stop him?
Everybody can roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How do we roll initiative?
Right now, if you want to drop your character on this little map, you can select them and roll it. Otherwise, if you simply just roll without dropping yourself, you are able to do that.
I have a fucking +3 to initiative, and I got a 5 and a 7.
I don't know what's happening here.
Nerth is going to grab your hand as you go to swing at him. And he's going to kind of nod towards the short sword that is placed into your armpit. If you wish to die, continue to try to attack me in my home. If you have any intention of living this day, I believe you may find now is the time for you to leave Targos. And he reaches back into your pocket and he pulls out a piece of paper.
Skeeter
Okay.
feels so bad. I feel like Skeeter misread the situation. Uh, he just kind of steps back and takes. If I can do that, I don't know if I have to wait.
Luther, what's your dex? Carvath, what's your dex?
15.
Mine's 15 actually as well.
So which one of you wants to go next?
I can go next, I guess, unless you want to.
Nope, you go.
Okay, so Carvath is going to he'll step back, he'll hold his hands up, kind of non-threateningly, and say like yes, I imagine it would behoove us to make our leave, and he's essentially trying to just look as non-threatening as possible, while slowly backing away towards the door. After kind of like a soft sigh under his breath.
Luther begins a little more. He kind of frees his mace, but once he sees the short sword and the fact that his friends are backing away, he too backs away, but but in a little more aggressive, in a little more ready to draw stance. So not quite throwing up his hands, more, oh, we're ready to go, guys, if this is what's called for.
Are you readying an action?
No, simply describing that instead of having my hands up, I'm. Oh wait, when you say readying an action, can I do what is it called, the thing where if something happens, you do something?
That's readying an action, but
Okay,
there's
yeah.
also reasons why, like, readying certain actions are going to do stuff that looks a lot like you're readying that action. But I'm just
Okay,
trying to
yeah,
elucidate,
yeah,
what you
yeah.
are going for. If you are
No,
not trying to look
simply,
hostile, but also not looking coy,
yeah. I mean that's essentially it. I don't want to look like a total pushover with my hands up, but I don't want a fight to happen.
so I would say more than likely you are not readying an action at that point, and it will go to Skeeter.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I feel like I misread the situation, so I sort of step down and I apologize and I begin to go on my way, but I turn back and I say, uh, you know, maybe next time I'll make it up to you. Maybe when we come back.
Perhaps you will find yourselves welcome in Targos in the future. Perhaps you may accomplish more things. It makes that seem so.
Skeeter bows and he drops Carvath's form and just turns back into a lizard.
Byron, any actions?
Byron only looks at Neff, and Grim makes a green expression as he watches Skitter going past him. He backs up without taking his eyes from off Neff.
And Relic, any thoughts? So, assuming everybody leaves without any problem, you are ushered out of the door. Nerth will kind of follow close behind as he signals to the guards. remove them from the city. And you all will be escorted out of Targos.
As we pass the man in the hallway on the first floor, I say, it turns out that we won't be needing those rooms.
I want a refund.
Skeeter is just more and more embarrassed as the day goes on.
When you get to the first floor and you
Oh
speak...
shit! I was not pushing my button. Holy.
What were you thinking, Beaks?
Good lord, this push to talk messes me up sometimes. No, well, I wanted to go over to Nar, because I cannot believe I actually said all that. Anyway, I was going over to Narth and I wanted to look at him and say, "We'll handle your business, but I would like is that when we do return after this assignment, that we enter a contract with you."
He's just going to respond to you. You keep saying my business. This is a test to see if you are anything but an infant. Go about your business. You will find yourself unwelcome in Targos as long as you find yourself so magnanimous and yet have so few skills.
Well, your loss. And he walks off. And he goes down to
Does
the
he
guy.
really walk?
Yeah, he really walks.
You would have quite well noticed that at no point did he seem in the least bit impressed by your ability to levitate.
No, I know, but he levitated to kind of get eye level with him. So yeah.
So, Luther, as you go down to Owen and try to ask for your money back, he's just going to look up at you and, oh, my greatest of apologies to you. All deposits are non-refundable, simply a matter of fact. Most certainly that is a most inconvenient thing if you intend to leave this evening.
Oh, I believe these gentlemen are going to get us out of this town in just a few minutes. I was thinking that that you might take our presence here to be a form of entertainment worth the money that we had left for our deposit. So although the deposit is refundable, I was thinking that our entertainment was worth a few coins back.
Make a persuasion.
What the heck? I'll take my inspiration on it.
He'll hand you 10 copper back.
Woohoo!
Better than nothing.
Well,
Well,
Carvath's
so-
just he's getting out of there as quick as possible.
I have to respond here. Classic paladin that Carvath says, hey, let's be careful what we say to these people. And then the first thing out of the paladin's mouth is, I'm a paladin of Torm, and this is a cleric of Lathander. And I'm like, and this is the Zentarum. What the fuck are you telling them about that for?
how I would know they are Zentarin?
But that's you have to try to listen to your sorcerer who's like, please don't say stuff, and that's how paladins go, I feel like. So you guys now understand at least some level of how you guys have to interact amongst each other, where this is why I say, like, often you'll have the sorcerers like, hey, can you go over to the shop and get me a coffee and a pastry? I've just got a knackering for something sweet. And then you go see the criminal boss.
So
Also,
once we're
like-
outside,
but
oh, sorry, I was gonna say once we're sort of outside, Carvath's going to just kind of he'll sigh again, and he'll be like, might I suggest we try not to antagonize everyone we meet?
What did I say? I said I was a paladin. I don't know he's an asshole.
Didn't we agree to listen more than speak?
I was trying to make us cross the door.
I don't imagine Torm's influence is particularly recognized here.
Maybe yes, maybe not. But I was trying to convince the guard to let us in. I didn't know they.
Most of you could understand that predominantly this place is populated by people who have been born here to children of people who have had to leave the rest of the country because they are criminals, outcasts, murderers, wanted for something.
Are we already outside of the town?
Yeah, at this point you guys are effectively outside.
Okay, Relic says out loud, I'm going to kill him and I'm going to take all of his shit. Anyway, so we lost the deal. We have to kill someone.
We
And
are
also,
not killing anyone.
oh no, we're definitely going to kill someone. And that motherfucker is the one we're going to kill.
At the very least, we did obtain some information.
He wants the town speaker of New Haven dead, correct? So what if we go
I think it's
to
East Haven.
East Haven? My apologies. He wants the person of the town speaker of East Haven dead. So obviously there's some turmoil between Targos and East Haven. So what we're going to do, and hopefully make a nice little profit off of it, we're going to figure out exactly what the turmoil is, and we're going to sell it.
Skeeter
Let's,
like.
let's perhaps avoid biting off more than we can chew just yet.
Well, we have a very skilled practitioner here, and I have a couple of skills that I'd rather not display at the moment, but I'm pretty sure we can manage. It's better than killing anyone. We don't have to get our hands dirty if we execute it well enough.
If we find ourselves in East Haven, then certainly we can ask around. And he kind of looks at Byron and emphasizes subtly to try to determine what the problem is. But I think our problem right now is that it's 3 in the afternoon and we are outside the gates of a city. I don't know if there's another town within that we can make before we'll have to rest, or if we should prepare for a night in the cold.
You can go to Bremen. It's just it's not far from here.
As far as it goes, I also have a folk hero background, which is rustic hospitality. You can find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate among other commoners, unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them. So if I see a farmhouse or anything like that, that might be a possibility.
You're not going to find anything like that here. There's
Pretty tough to
literally
farm in
tundra. Yeah, there's tundra and then the actual settlements. Some of these settlements will look a lot like a farmhouse. Rustic hospitality is the type of thing, if you were not escorted out of that town by the Targos guards, you would have been able to find yourself staying pretty much at anybody's house inside of that place instead of having to go to an inn.
Got it.
Well, Byron looks very annoyed, and you are right. I misspoke. But now it's gone. I will try to contain my impetus. So we have Bremen to our east, and to our northwest we have Termlane. We can try to go there too.
I suggest Bryn Shonder.
That's our option too.
Would
It's
we
all
have
the
any
same
idea of whether we can make it to Bryn Shander within the rest of the day before night?
Let me get an intelligence from everybody. So, as you all are basically booted out of Targos, as you kind of collect yourselves together, you are looking about your map, trying to figure out where you are. Bryn Shander is the closest. It does have the east way that leads between, or at least it has like the main trail between itself and Targos. That is one of probably the easiest places that you can head to, and it is perhaps the closest. Skeeter is pretty good about his ability to kind of measure the general spaces on the map. Bryn Shander seems a good way closer than Termlane or Bremen, which are the places that are immediately along the paths from Targos. But you all would also be able to pick up that among the most dangerous things that is happening right now is that a storm is picking up. The winds are speeding up, your ability to see is being reduced. So while you do have light from the aura, with an oncoming blizzard, you may find yourselves in just as much danger as you are just trying to shelter in place. And that's kind of the decision ahead of you. The quickest travel, following the path to Bryn Shander and get to safety. But it's never safe to travel in a blizzard inside of Icewind Dale.
Group vote.
Perhaps we should try to make it to Bryn Shander. Perhaps someone can keep an eye out if there is any, unlikely, but anywhere we might, if we forced to, we might be able to try and ride out should the storm get worse.
I mean, I don't mind turning myself into a nice little golden nugget of ice, personally. I make horrible jokes when I'm can't feel my toes.
Mm.
I would rather like to avoid freezing to death if at all possible. I get there
Louis-
an ignominious end to our little venture.
Bryn Shander then?
Let's
Bryn
go.
Shander.
Skeeter hearing this, he gets on all fours and kind of like puts one of his daggers in his mouth. And he just starts skittering forward real fast.
Where exactly did we find him again?
Don't you remember?
He just kind of showed up, honestly.
We are being robbed. He appears and got the robber before the, he saved us. No, didn't you remember?
Yeah.
He knows how to use that daggers. Let's get moving.
Also, like, uh, ever since Relic saw Skeeter change, he's been uh distant from him. Not like not interacting with him, but just like he physically doesn't want to be near
Can I roll a perception to see if Skeeter senses Relic's dodging him?
All three of you 100% know each other to be doppelgangers.
Okay.
You guys have the ability to touch people's minds. You would 100% be able to know where a doppelganger is and when a doppelganger is close to you.
him.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
mind.
it's kind of like that. It's kind of. I feel like honestly, it's kind of like thing where it's like it's not so much that he's a doppelganger that bothers him. It's more so the fact that he's so open about it, and it's like, what are you doing? This is not the ways of our kind. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't show what you can do openly, you know.
Oh, I definitely think that's on point. You would definitely be rightly weary about somebody being so forthright about it. But at the same time, like, you guys would still know each other. for what it's worth on that level.
Could I roll perception to see that he's feeling like that?
You could do an insight on it, but I don't think you would be terribly surprised. More than likely, you guys would find. I feel like
Hold
the
on.
difference is perhaps that it's kind of sinking into you all, that
Oh.
perhaps finding a more natural form that you sink into changes the actual like basal doppelganger. So by you choosing to tend towards being a lizard folk, you perhaps have gotten a little bit more animalistic to his view. And you just kind of see as him who's somebody who tends to be a genasi. He seems to almost have like a there's no good way for me to say this of the words that are coming to mind. I don't have a good word for it. He feels like
Reserve.
better than you, and you like get that sense that he's like looking down at you for being a lizard folk. But to you, it's 100% like, I don't know, like a working class person who like is kind of looked down upon from somebody who's like white collar.
Question. If I continuously transform into Carvath in this campaign, like, will I eventually have like Carvath's features on top of my lizard, like almost base?
No, you chose to be a lizard folk. That's what I'm going off of. That your
Oh, okay.
predominantly background as a lizard folk. In the same way where Carvath, I would say Carvath is a more traditional doppelganger. He has tended to be a human, but has the ability to switch between the guises that he needs. And I think, honestly, that's probably like the best option that you could ever get is by choosing the feat from Variant Human and then rolling that secret of getting the doppelganger. It's pretty fucking amazing to have all of that shit.
I was just hoping that I could eventually get like his hair on top of my lizard body like that. Like for some reason his hair just started growing.
Weirdo.
Yeah, I don't think you have the ability to make forms up, but that would be the type of thing where if you got like a Hat of Disguise, I think Hat of Disguise allows you to create the disguise. So you would have something like that where you could be like half lizard, half human, where it would look like an abomination.
Still pretty cool.
So as you all start along the path, who has survival?
Luther does.
Proficiency.
Luther also casts light on whoever's in front. He casts light on their weapons, so it casts a little, casts a little light for people to follow if it's beginning to snow.
So Skeeter, are you saying you have proficiency?
I have proficiency, but I didn't land good.
So Luther, roll as well. The two of you are leading the party, so you can light your own way. So as you all progress along the path, as you light up your weapon, or whatever you decide to light up, you very quickly realize that in this blizzard, with like 50-mile-an-hour winds and the actual snow coming down, to the north of you, the left side of yourself, you can see maybe 5 feet. To the south of you, you can see about 10 or 12 feet. And ahead of you, you can see about 15 or so. In this setting, you are almost doubled over just like Skeeter, kind of trying to set the light as low to the actual ground as possible to try to see the trail. But most of all, you're trying to feel with every footstep if this feels like hard packed snow or if this just feels like a slight shell over the snow, because you know there's a path and it's covered in snow, but you still know that there's that difference in how your foot sets into it. And that's the little bit that you're looking for here to know that you're following the way to Bryn Shandar. And so far, it's feeling good. Let's get another survival from the two of you.
Once he sees that the visibility is down to the point where they could get separated, Luther pulls out his rope, ties an end around himself, and hands it to whoever is next to him.
So Skeeter's immediately next to him, next to yourself. You can definitely tie it to him as well. You guys want to do a full chain
He
here?
offers it. He offers it to him, and he says, and shouts over the wind, "We should rope ourselves together so none get separated."
Skeeter says, Skeeter skeet, and does it.
Everybody else roping together? I believe everybody essentially should
Yeah,
have ropes.
yeah, we're open.
I have rope.
So you all are able to continue along the path there. Everything's still going well. The blizzard is still holding strong. It's not looking great as far as the weather go, but you do feel like you are making good distance here. Let's get one more survival from y'all here. And you all will have another good bit where you are progressing towards Bryn Shindar. Everything is looking well. You feel very consistent that you are able to keep the track. There's definitely times where one or the other of you has been wandering off of it and losing immediate sight of the trail. But working together as a team, you two are doing quite well. And one more. Bam, that's gold. So as you all start to lose the last sights of the aura in the breaks of the actual blizzard, you see around the same time you are feeling the wind calm down as it slows to a very comfortable and very natural about 35-mile-an-hour winds. It seems absolutely wonderful at that point. The temperature is only about negative 45 degrees. It's only cold enough that you could almost pee and have it freeze before it hits the ground. And you all start to see, as the blizzard is breaking, is about the same time that the aurora is starting to give way to the darkness of a waxing moon. You see the moon kind of rising over Lake Dinishar, and you start to see the first signs of Bryn Shindar as you are approaching it from the west. And I could present the map, but I don't actually have it yet set here. So let's take a quick little 5-minute break and we'll jump back in a second here. Just going to kind of walk you guys into the city before we give way for tonight.
Sounds good.
All right. I wanted so much gold from that damn guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys actually played like an evil campaign, he would definitely be an awesome place to start. But when I rolled that, I was like, if they choose to play good characters, it's going to be a fuck all of a town to be in. If they choose to be bad characters, this is going to be like the best home base ever. Because that guy, like, I mean, if you guys played like a rogue campaign, they would just be like, oh, welcome home, brother.
Like, if you notice, like, I was trying to, in a way, like, peel a bit of that energy to kind of like, okay, well, look, we'll kill your guy, but we want something out of it. Like, like this isn't just to prove ourselves. Like, let's make this a business deal. And I'm just like, oh man, like they're just not going for it.
Yeah, I think had you rolled anything higher, you probably could have gotten an actual business deal out of him. But you just had a poor roll on that actual effort. And also the fact that you decided for at least the moment for it to be deception instead of a persuasion. I took you as from the cuff that it was a persuasion. And the very nature that you wanted to, as far as I'm concerned, metagame it into, well, I have a higher roll if I go for deception. That was like, well, one, persuasion is no longer even on the table. You're 100% going deception the moment you tell me you were trying to deceive. And then you also rolled low that's the higher cost option, is if he catches you in a lie, he's just going to be like, yeah, fuck off. Go kill somebody who is impossible to kill and come back to me.
Well, true. I was trying to stay like kind of in my like I was trying to stay with my character because like knowing my character, like he would most likely use deception, especially when it comes to like a situation where like he doesn't know if he can be, the winner of that, altercation. So it's just like, let's try to put myself in a way like or put myself in a light where I can get a more favorable deal and then go down to something that's like, oh, okay, like let's do
Yeah, the
this instead.
problem is that you and Nerth are two of a kind. Um, Going into a contract was like be still my beating heart to him. He was definitely excited to hear that thought where you're like, oh, let's draw up a contract about this. And he's like, oh, I think I'm in love. And then you tried to lie to him. And he was like, oh, this guy's just a little child. He doesn't actually understand what he's doing yet.
Yeah, I felt that. As soon as I saw that 14, I was actually kind of mad because I have a +4 and then I'm proficiency and +4, and I also have calligraphy supplies. So I could have legit wrote a boss ass contract, man.
And that's the thing, like those are all things that he himself is, that's what he does. He wheels deals and makes things happen. And part of why I responded how he did to you was simply because he may not have been impressed with how you were doing it, but when he called you child, it's because you could grow up into something with potential. It was basically acknowledging the potential, but saying that you have none of the finesse yet. And that's one of those differences in like basically calling you out as being useless and saying that you have potential. And in particular, also because you were lying to him, being quite offensive about doing it as well.
True, true. It will be next
Yeah.
time though.
I was thinking, like, if things had gotten any dicier in that room, Carvath was going to break out his doppelganger ability and then be like, I can be ECU, like to try and save his own skin.
Oh, right. So speaking of that, because I actually didn't realize I was doing it. I actually was hitting my push to talk button is my alt key. And before we left the initiative, I was pushing my space bar. So the entire time I was talking, I didn't realize wasn't hitting the right button. But I went to
Spacebar is a very bad one.
yeah, I know. That's exactly why I made it the alt key because the alt key, is I guess is more targetable. Like I have to hit it intentionally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I do left alt and left shift are my two different push to talks,
yes.
because they each have their negatives. I found alt was really bad as like the only one because if you
Hmm.
ever hit your mouse wheel inside of Roll20, you like zoom all the way out real quick.
Hmm.
I think it actually zooms the whole browser too, which makes it even worse. And the shift works really well, but it has its downsides as well because there's all kinds of bullshit that there's always something that I hate push to talk for a lot of reasons, but I absolutely pet peeve hate hearing people cough, hate hearing people sneeze, and I know like, oh, I push to mute, sure, but there's definitely times where you're gonna cough or sneeze and it's not there. I'd rather the natural state being that I can't hear you.
So yeah, I went over to Narf. His name is Narf, right? Or Narl?
I feel like it's Nerth. I feel
Narf.
like the
Okay.
E is silent. But again, names to me, people are going to say names to you, and you're going to get phonetics.
Mm,
There is rarely going to be a chance that somebody is writing down their name and telling you what their name is.
right.
And that's one of the things where oh, I don't remember what campaign it was, but I actually cracked up laughing because it was like, finally, I have somebody who's like basically coming up to you with a name tag on, and they're just straight up saying, "This is my name," and they're handing you a card, basically.
Yeah, that's our other game with the guides.
Oh yeah, because they got the little handouts, basically trying to sell themselves. Yeah, that shit was amazing. I was so excited to see that. I was like, finally, we get to actually spell names. But in general, no, I don't think it matters in the least bit how you guys name different people. Often The biggest problem is if the name that you heard or the name that you wrote down doesn't connect back in my head. Because I have had players before who I think just part of the loss of speaking around the world. One of my buddies is in England, and I feel like he was saying a name, and it took me like 3 or 4 sessions before I was like, wait, when you say that, are you talking about this person? And he's like, yeah, that sounds right. And I'm like, holy shit, like we've got so much retconning to do because I did not realize that you were thinking those were the same person.
Mm. Yeah, because I have I was in another campaign where I had my character name was Gnarl. So the other guy being Narth, I was just like, oh, this is gonna mess me up so bad because I want to say Gnarl every time I want to say his name.
Yeah, it's the AE, so I feel like that's like ethereal, like ether. So it's really weird because it's like almost like an exhaled, almost like an H instead of the A before the E. So it's like A, ether, ether. Kind of like how Canadians would say, "Oh, isn't that right, eh?"
Or like in the A umlaut in German, where it's like the A and the E kind of together mixed.
German is one of the few languages I have never studied.
Oh, right. So yeah, but before we left initiative, like Relic had went over. uh,
Your mic kind of went out there before we left initiative.
Before we left initiative, I was still levitating, and I levitated so we were like eye level because my character's not that tall. But yeah, he's just like, you're going to go into business for me. Next time we meet, it work for me. And he just walked. That was
Yeah, when you did that, he was that like as far as he was, that was like a child like rolling down on the ground, like having a fit because they wanted Capri Suns, and you're like, no, you're not getting any juice.
oh yeah, definitely.
He's like, you are quite well fitting into the exact reason why I told you you are not prepared to be on our level. Is everybody back right now?
I'm back.
I'm here.
So without setting it to scale right now, you all are going to enter Bryn Shindar from the north gate. As you approach this town, there is again, it's clearing up where you actually get a vision as the blizzard is kind of subsiding after this trip. You are gaining a vision inside of the light of the moon rising. It's rising from the east, so there is more kind of lit up in the glow on the east side of this, but this is a town built on a mountain. So when you look at the wall around this town, that is very much like a crown around this actual hill. Um, I should have actually gotten a side view of Bryn Shindar, but I think the actual picture that I have as the background for the campaign, I think that is actually meant to be Bryn Shindar. It might be a little bit more of a peak than I think was kind of like the original idea, but it's very much like this town is built where there is an incline, the wall, and then the actual town itself climbs towards the center. So it is very clear that the town center is the center point, the highest point of the town, and the town hall pretty much along that same route. That is probably, if not most definitely, the highest point is that like town hall or simply just that open square of the town center. Um, Entering through everything.
Is Brynshire a large? Not Brynshire. I'm sorry. Is East Haven a larger town or like city than Targos?
If you asked around to different people, Bryn Shindar, Targos, and East Haven are the three largest cities.
Okay.
I re-doppelgang into Carveth and just walk around dramatically.
Relic rolls his eyes and just walks ahead of him.
Yeah, Carvath will just kind of sigh.
So as you all enter this town, the North Look is the Inn and Tavern. You're actually going to enter right next to that. That will be quickly apparent to you as you all are also arriving at effectively nightfall, which is when the aura disappears, and it is now simply going by the moonlight. And again, it's a waxing moon. You are about 3 or 4 days before the actual full moon right now. So this is nearly as bright as you will ever see a place like Bryn Shindar at night. People are going into the North Look. That is the local inn and tavern. You would be, again, I like the idea that these big places at very least are handing out maps kind of as you enter the place and tell the guards that you are not local, which reminds me to show you their and they basically tell you that the House of the Morning Lord is off to the northeast. Black Iron Blades is the place to go to buy any weaponry that you might care or need. The town hall is the central portion where you will find where is her name? I know I wrote it down here. Devessa Shane is the town speaker of Bryn Shindar, and she is the head speaker of the council, which you guys will also see a reference to the council hall. All 10 of the town speakers of 10 towns come here to Bryn Shindar, and that is where they meet to discuss things of importance to all of the 10 towns. Again, Bryn Shindar is very much the focus. It is the focal point of all of 10 towns, and this is likely to be at any given point the highest population and the largest of the 10 town cities, where they also have a stables, and I think that pretty well covers it. If you all have anything of immediate interest, we can kind of tackle it, but overall, you're getting in, it's well into the day, you've just seen the aurora disappear about the same time as the blizzard broke. And you're walking in right next to the bar and tavern. I think it makes the most sense if we call it here as you all actually basically enter the North Look and sleep for the night.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Works for me.
So I think what we might do is have you all actually relax at the tavern where you might pick up some information. Because in general, one of the things about learning about this place is often go to the taverns, and if you are going to role play talking to people, we'll role play it. If you kind of sit back and just keep to yourselves, you can often overhear stuff as drunk people talk. So we might pick up with this same night and jump into the actual sleep, so I'm not going to like do any charges there for you immediately. I would like to kind of leave that open for next week. But again, we're at least here in Bryn Shindar, and obviously, Luther, you would very much recognize there's a House of the Morning Lord here, and that would appeal to you as well. Perhaps enough that maybe you're not going to go to the North Look, and you might leave the party. But it's up to you all to decide, and I think we'll treat with that next week. I think that would be best.